Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for many of you's favorite segment on my channel, and that is Emma's Vlogs. She's out of town again, obviously. There's Louie dancing in the background. I need to make that into a short or a reel. We started her max effort bench press week off with an incline bench. She got 110 pounds, which again we're happy with. It scales pretty well to her bench, right about what we would expect, maybe a hair weaker than I would expect based upon her flat bench. But overall, we're happy with it. Nice, good incline bench. All right, afterwards, her training is very, very pec dominant right now as far as her upper body stuff goes. They're kind of her limiting factor on bench at the moment because her close grip and stuff is very strong. And she tends to miss bench presses at the bottom. So on max effort day, I have her currently doing both flat bench and dumbbell presses. And I want to remind people, you don't see me putting two types of presses always in a lot of my male lifters training, but with women, you can get away with that. And it just has to do with the absolute strength component as well as the recovery side. Women tend to have a little higher volume tolerance than men. So just a reminder, when you guys see some of the vlogs of my ladies, sometimes their volume looks a little high. If you guys keep in mind, they can usually handle a little more volume, right? They can recover from it. All right, so after those two presses, we do chin-ups. And she's getting pretty good at chin-ups again. All right, she can do quite a few. She can do at least 10. Then we do some band press downs and usually some lateral raises with a cable. I don't think we got those on camera this week, though, the laterals. I think it goes straight to her deadlift after this. All right, this is 285 plus around 45 pounds of band tension, which tells me we're real close to getting a deadlift PR. She may be good for a deadlift PR. Her current conventional, the best that she's hit is 315. So I'm thinking we may be good for about 320 at this point. All right, fortunately they had a safety squat bar at this gym, which is great, puts us in a good situation. So we had her do her good mornings with that. They also have a belt squat. The only downside we have at this gym that she's training at for this time while they're out on vacation is the fact it doesn't have a reverse hyper, but it's got a belt squat, so we'll call that even, right? She doesn't have her reverse hyper that she has at home, but we've got a belt squat. And she did point out, yep, when we build the bigger house next, we're definitely putting one of these in. She's like, I absolutely want one. So that's going to be coming up in the future eventually. Her and Louie will have access to one of these. But yeah, again, it's given us some nice novel training response pretty much for a whole block, because she's still going to have a few more workouts at this place before they move on. And we're going to actually have to do half of one of the future vlogs coming up with limited equipment, just because of where they're having to stay in the hotel gym. So after the belt squats, we have glute ham raises. So pretty much her supplemental lifts and then her hanging leg raises. So her supplemental lifts for the max effort day were safety bar good mornings, belt squats, glute ham raises, and hanging leg raises. Although you could tell when she started at first on the glute ham raises, it seemed a little awkward to her. And it's because, if you guys notice, it's a different pad design than you see on most of them. And of course, here's our hanging leg raises, which you guys know I'm a big fan of. Been a fan of these for years. I promoted them a long time. And this is one of those where I don't know that I'd go as far as Dave Tate goes when he says that I've heard him say before, they're the best squat accessory. I don't know if they're the best, but I agree that they're a very good one. I will agree with his sentiment that they're fantastic. It will help with your squat quite a bit. All right, speed bench day. She brought her mini bands with her, so we're able to use bands for speed bench. So we did her normal rotation on those. Then, of course, we do some chin-ups, some dumbbell presses, lateral raises, band press downs. The basics. And, of course, I change up her chin-ups and pull-ups from time to time. And I probably need to eventually add some more rows in for her. But with Emma, because we always tend to do some extra shoulder work, because she wants that and has actually always requested, that I leave some delt work in there for her because she wants bigger delts always. So because of that, though, it means we can get away with chin-ups and pull-ups a little more and a little less need for rows. Although I like, for people who really have the work capacity for it, we're really trying to bring those areas up. I sometimes like to see all three, in a well-balanced program. And you guys have seen me do that myself, and then some clients, you'll see me actually include some pull-up variation, row variation, and shoulder work. But again, it ends up being a lot of volume. You need to be in a good situation to handle all of that. All right. So we went with a normal straight bar for this one for the box squats, which again is a change in variety. Normally she does the safety bar. All right, since she normally does the safety bar, this lets us change it up. So usually because they travel, quite a bit and do a lot of vacations, we end up getting changes in her speed work just because of that. Whereas we only use the specialty bars, or the SSB in particular, when she's at home. All right, we're still in a sumo phase, so the sumo pulls were done for speed work. And of course, we got lucky. We got band pegs on the platform. Looks just like the platform I have. Looks like the same barbell jack I have also behind it. So again, band pegs on there, which allowed us to use bands. And band pegs like that are phenomenal. Anyone who's ever set up deadlifts with bands without those pegs versus having the pegs, you guys know the difference. They make life a whole lot easier for you. And then outside of that, we did our pretty much normal stuff with the equipment she has available. So it looks the same as our max effort day. We did safety bar good mornings. All right. We did belt squats. We did some glute ham raises. And of course, hanging leg raises. Again, I just wish they had a reverse hyper. And that's kind of the interesting thing you see with gyms out there. You're seeing glute ham raises have become far, far more popular. They really have. Right? You're seeing them in box gyms more. Now, granted, this is not a box gym when they've got a belt squat and deadlift platform and stuff. Probably not your typical box gym. But we are seeing more of the glute ham raises. You see them everywhere now. We just need reverse hypers to have that same level of popularity. And then, as usual, she finishes up with her hanging leg raises, and there's Louie hanging out. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.